In today's video, we're going to look at 10 truths about the Eagles season thus far, an interesting insight from the power rankings from NFL.com, as well as a signing that might make a big difference. What's up, it's your boy Cintron coming back at you with another analysis video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. And today, let's get into these 10 truths. So the Eagles are on a 4-0 start. We can't overlook that. Winning the ugly win, he won 4 different ways. And yeah, like Jake Elliott, jersey on the back. Yeah, man, that's all that matters. All right, so the first thing to look at here, star players win the day. We leaned on A.J. Brown the past couple of weeks. He's had almost 20 receptions for 300 yards, 2 TDs in this last game. But, targeting him, going to him has been the right move. And although we aren't getting Dallas Goedert involved in the way I'd like to see it, as we saw from the 2 catches for 25 yards, especially the one that he made being contacted throughout the route and still came out with the catch, he's still highly effective. So we need to find a way to get him worked in because he's the third cog in that star-studded trio, that Doug trio of receivers that we have, even though he's a tight end, but he's a damn good one. Top 5 in the league, if you ask me. And Devonta Smith, he had 7, I think, catches on 9 targets for 78 yards. With that key, I think 41-yarder downfield, mossing the rookie Emmanuel Forbes, who just had horrible day in coverage, with AJ lighting him up for I think $145 on maybe 7 catches or so. So yeah, man, we need to keep them involved. Yeah, they're gonna account for maybe 90% of our offense thus far, but if it's working, why stop it? Why change it? So we're going to be counting on these guys going forward. Yes, we are highly dependent, top heavy at the receiving position. That being said, they've shown that they can be dependable. Devonta Smith, despite his wiry frame, he comes down with 50-50 balls, maybe the best in the league pound for pound. And yeah, man, they've shown that they can show up in these big moments. So why shy away from it? It works. All right, Jalen Hurts is playing a different style. Yeah, he is. And we're winning, so we cannot ignore that fact. He's playing it safe. Like this play here highlights where he rolled out, and I think it was St. Juice that came up. And, he was closing in on Hurts. And, the guy said he wants to see Hurts try and truck him because he has a 25-pound advantage. I don't care. He's our QB1, and we want to keep him safe. We want to have him for the duration of the season. You need him to slide on his plays. You need him to play it safe. You need him to go down without a fight. Because the rules are protecting him. Let's lean into that when it benefits us. Because it's not like like when he bends the corner and, players are reticent to hit him because they know it's going to most likely draw a penalty, and he's able to extend the ball over, the marker and get the first down, that we're not cheering and relishing in the fact that those rules benefit us at that time. So you can't have it both ways. Either you want Jalen Hurts to to play 17 games, which he can try and maximize his potential to do so by playing it safe like this, or you want him to play with reckless abandon in a game that doesn't have playoff implications and put it all out there on the line, and then maybe not be available for a slew of games or potentially worse. I can't tell you which option most of us would rather have, even if we belie the fact that he's not the same Jalen Hurts. Teams are playing on different. Even the rushing lanes are different, so it's a different season, different defenses. So it requires a different approach, and I'm glad that Jalen is taking this and taking it seriously. Right, you need a good kicker to win in the NFL. Yeah, man, and Jake the Make, as they're calling him, might just be as good as we've seen in Philadelphia. David Akers, they said he was at the time when he went to the, I think, 49ers, he was the 16th best, and now he wouldn't even be in the top 100, which is insane. Tells you how much refining they've done with the kicking game, how much better these guys have gotten over the years. A lot of Aussie, and foreign guys coming in and kicking difference, but especially on the punting end. But Jake, it's funny. He goes out there and makes that 54-yarder. Before he makes it, there's probably not even a doubt in any Philadelphia Eagles mind that he's going to go out there and close the game out with that kick in overtime to seal the deal. He's just that good, man. And we're fortunate to, like, the circumstances, we had Caleb Sturgis, he got hurt. If he doesn't get hurt, we don't sign him from the Bengals practice squad. And who knows where we would be at, because Caleb Sturgis was a 68% field goal maker. Man, this guy here is clutch. 50-yarders, he eats those for breakfast. I mean, he's one of the only, I think, 5 guys in history that have made multiple 60-yarders. And that's including Janikowski, that's including the league best, Justin Tucker, who might be ready to give up the title to Jake Elliott. So we'll see, but he makes a hell of a difference. We have all the confidence in the world. Nick Sirianni has told you that ad nauseum, that it makes such a difference having a guy that you know is pretty much automatic from certain down distances and gives you a good chance even from long distances of, you know, mid-range 50 to 60s, which is crazy. All right, Sean Desai, massive upgrade over Jonathan Gannon. As much as I want to belie this fact, he is, even just for the simple fact that he blitzes. Nick Morrow having 3 sacks is a credit to him being willing to send him. Jonathan Gannon wouldn't have made, he doesn't have the brass balls to make that call. And we'll get into that hopefully tomorrow, but there are some downsides to the Gannon defense. I mean, well, you could say pretty much the 2023 Gannon defense in some way, shape, or form, because we're seeing almost like a lighter but more steady version of it in some instances. But anyways, like I said, that's for tomorrow. Brian Johnson has been mostly solid, and people will hate to hear this, but the play calls, he's put us in position with the play calls. You got to give him credit for the good ones as well as the bad ones. That 3rd and 11, horrible call. Playing it safe. If you're going to play it safe, call a safe play. A stretch play where I didn't like the amount of time that, it took for him to get from one side of the field to the other in the red zone where you should be throwing the ball. I feel like, to take advantage of our guys, and I can't wait for Albert O to get up to speed so he can be our number 2 tight end, take advantage of his 6'4", 6'5" frame, as well as his speed in the red zone. Hopefully have another weapon, and then hopefully play off of that to make Goddard undersold, so that we can also have him highlight as a red zone weapon. 6'2", 6'5" guys, that should be easy money. But yeah, he's had some good play calls, man, to beat certain defensive calls that like we've gone against. Jack Del Rio, Bill Belichick, Brian Flores, who's a disciple of that Belichick tree, as well as Todd Bowles in week 3. So we're not going to get up against chopped liver. These guys are actually really good defensive coordinators. And yeah, it's going to, we're going to have Steve Spagnuolo on the slate, as well as Dan Quinn twice, again with Del Rio. I mean, so it's not going to get any easier, but we're going to, it's going to be a uphill battle, a challenge, but that's what we want. That's why we watch the game. Like Bill Parcells said, that's why you play the damn game, because it's exciting and whatnot. But that's why we watch it, because we enjoy cheering for our team and for the other fans, not the casuals, but you love the intricacies of the NFL football. It's an art. All right, the Eagles are the best in the trenches. Yeah, on both sides of the ball. I used to hate it in the early 2000s while we would draft low linemen. And Andy Reid, he really set us up with that philosophy, going with the big uglies, as well as, the hog mollies. I used to hate it because it wasn't sexy, but now I get it. And building a team inside out, it really does pay dividends. We're able to control the ground game and impose our will on teams, and as well as put pressure on them. We had 32 pressures, and it was due to our back end not being able to hold up, why we weren't able to get home and be successful in shutting down the offense with a higher success rate. But that tells you a lot. 32 freaking pressures. That's crazy, insane. I would venture to say that some teams haven't had that in consecutive games. We've had it in one game. So the D-line, people were saying the D-line didn't play up to their standard. What the hell are you talking about? What game are you watching? Go and look at the tape. Go learn more so you can go beyond the surface level of understanding. But the Eagles' opponents have been pretty good. Yeah, man, and it's funny. Like I was just saying about the defensive head coaches we've gone up against, but I can't credit Sam Howell for that. I would say that's the game plan. Eric Bieniemy, him making his players exceed their talent level because they're not up to our talent. We had to battle the refs as well. There were several bad calls in that game, but we were the better team, and that's not saying that we should win just because we have more talent, but we gotta squeeze the talent out of those players with the coaches. And Sean Desai is only his second year defensive coordinator, and Brian Johnson is only his first year, inaugural season as a play caller. So they got to get better. Hopefully they're taking these lumps and learning on the job, and we'll see what those produce over the long haul. All right, too many undisciplined moments. I would agree with that. James Bradbury had that call. Like, yeah, it's gonna be ticky-tacky, but they're gonna be looking for that. So if it's that's more of a panic move from him feeling security about tugging, even if it wasn't that much. You gotta keep your hands clean. Like the Terrell Edmonds one, bang bang. If he doesn't do that, Sam Howell's waiting to extend that play, extend the ball out to reach over the marker for the first down. So that was a lose-lose situation by the rules that they want, the ruling that they wanted to throw out there. Darius Slay, the phantom holding call, and then the one on Nicholas Morrow. I'd have to review it again, but maybe that one goes in another direction. But as well as the one with Terrell Edmonds, that's a tough one. Yeah, it is a penalty by the definition, by the rule book, but he tried to go lower, and then the offensive player went lower with him to meet him there. So what can you do in that position? So we got to be better, but the refs have to be better as well. That's a horrible crew. That crew is notorious for penalties. So I take that with a grain of salt. They're not playing to their potential. We're undefeated. Who's playing to their potential right now? Dallas has a loss on the docket. 49ers, they're scoring 30 every game, but what happens when they're not clicking? I think Malcolm Jenkins said, I want to see them on a day where they have to gut out a win. And that's not saying that, I don't discredit any of their wins, but I just want to see that from them. It's kind of a you want to have on your resume type of deal. But if we're 8 games, 9 games in, we can say we're not playing up to our potential, but the season is too young. It's too early to be saying stuff like that. And they need to play better before the schedule gets rough. Yes, but we're still working out the kinks. These are 2 great opponents coming up to kind of be litmus tests for us. And the Rams, who have great potential, and we're kind of they're hot and cold, but when they're on, they can be a very tough team, especially with the receiving options they have, and they might be getting one back by way of Cooper Kupp this week, as well as the Jets. Have potential, and Zach Wilson, who played a lot better in this last game, throwing for 243 yards. And he has some good options, especially Garrett Wilson, who is going to give us fits. It's going to be a challenge for us. Very hard charging, hard-nosed, tough player who plays hard, who plays just reckless out there in a good way. But yeah, that defense they have are definitely going to test us as well. But yeah, we want to be undefeated and go into that slate. We have the Bills, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Commanders again. So we'll see. That'll be the true gold standard test of where we're at as a team. But yeah, I'm excited, because like I said, we're undefeated and we're still growing. We're still learning, progressing as a team. All right, the insight from the power rankings. The Eagles like to make things harder on themselves than needed, yet they keep winning. Yeah, but like I said, if we are able to get out the field, and then, Terrell Edmonds should have had a pick. It was gifted to him by the D-line putting pressure. and he just dropped it. But that would change the complexion of the game with the Commanders coming up short on those drives. Who knows what we go on and do, or maybe not do. I don't know. But, definitely changes the direction of that game. But yeah. It took overtime versus Washington on Sunday. But if we play better, it doesn't even have to come to that. The offense is returning to shades of 2022 form, adding the DeAndre Swift dimension and rekindling the Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown magic. Yeah, most definitely. And DeAndre Swift is just such an addition. But self-inflicted errors almost cost Philadelphia the game. Among the teeth gnashing penalties, Zach Cunningham's defensive holding, wiping out a stop. Yeah, so we had to stop. That's the thing that, you gotta. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't even matter. Like if he didn't do that, we would have gotten off the field. 2 bad personal fouls on Terrell Edmonds. Yeah, exactly. James Bradbury's DPI, which is like the ball where you see where the ball was thrown, was even catchable. Same thing in the Super Bowl almost. Brown's post TD taunting flag. Yeah, can't do that. Got to see on your chest. Even Hurts' intentional grounding briefly knocked Philly out of field goal range in OT. And yeah, just better communication on both sides. As much as they coalesced that game, that was one where the defense alert that could have been a pick as well. Team has elite talent, but you can't be that fast and loose every week. Yeah, we got to be better. Did you know the Eagles have a lot more TDs than they've scored? Interesting. But yeah, like I said, we'll get into that tomorrow. That defensive scheme. All right, the last thing we're going to get into today, Bradley Roby. He has been signed on the Eagles practice squad, and hopefully they get him up to speed and then get him in there in the slot. That's where we've signed him for. But he has some more versatility. So he's 31, played 5 seasons with the Broncos, 2 with the Texans, and 2 with the Saints. And it's concerning that the Saints, didn't bring him back. I think they released him. He didn't make the final 53. He did start 13 games for them, had a pick. He played 306 snaps in the slot last year, but this isn't the only time he's played in the slot. With his time in the Broncos, he was the slot corner, kind of by necessity because Chris Harris and Akeem Talib, I'm about to say Talib Kweli. Now he's a rapper. Calm down, bro. But he played there when it was necessary because he would bounce outside sometimes as well, but he has outside versatility as well as he played, I think, with the Texans at safety some. So in a pinch, he can play there as well. So that gives us, 3 spots where he can be at. And over his 9-year career, he's been a very solid player. At times great with the Broncos as well. And I think playing with 2 great corners on the outside in Slay and Bradbury will give him shades of his time with the Broncos with those 2 great corners on the outside. So I like this matchup, and they worked him out, so they saw that he had, he could run well and he can still move. We'll see what he has to bring, but we'll see also how quick he can get up to speed. But I like this addition, and I'm excited to see what finally, hopefully, if we can get some stability there in the slot, because that would make all the difference. And going into next year, people are saying we need a slot. I know why we're not willing to risk a lot and make a big play is because we're counting on Isaiah Rodgers, who's suspended currently for gambling, to come back from that and be maybe a starter there. Because of Devontae Maddox, I think we're done relying on him because last 2-3 seasons he's come up injured, and we need him definitely there because it's not one position that we're dependent on one position, but it makes a big difference when teams are just targeting that one position. And as well as Britton Covey, he might be out of the game. I think if he has a concussion, no NFL player this season that's had a concussion has been able to play the following week. So that'll be a big loss on our punt return. But who would be there? Don't know. Maybe Oluvide Zaccheaus, but we'll just have to see. But anyways, we're going to get up out of here on that note. A little bit longer than I would have liked, but kind of the average for me. But anyways, you're not even watching, you're not even here, but it's all good because I love talking about the Eagles and love making these videos. So we're going to get up out of here, like I said, just to get my face. But as always, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.